The physical reality of the grave is absolute, and it makes no distinctions. The exact same randomness affects the righteous and the wicked alike. King Solomon identified the problem of moral luck, the unsettling fact that success or failure lies outside our control. Because tragedy strikes the pure and impure alike, God's providence can seem completely incomprehensible. If the exact same fate befalls the righteous and the wicked, the denier concludes that death must be final. In this view, the dead possess no consciousness, and all human passions, our love, our hate, and our zeal, simply vanish into nothing. This breeds a raw, hollow survivalism among the living. As the ancient metaphor goes, a living dog is superior to a dead lion. The psychologist Ernest Becker later called this phenomenon mortality denial, a state where people refuse to think about death or the possibility of an afterlife. Because they believe there is no ultimate accountability, their judgment clouds, and they dedicate their lives to evil schemes. If we leave this materialist worldview unchallenged, every logical incentive for ethical living evaporates. We are forced to ask, if the universe seems undeniably random, how can anyone find genuine religious meaning? King Solomon refuses to surrender to this despair. Instead, he offers a sharp, proactive counterargument. He advocates for a strict religious pragmatism. We should not defer our search for meaning to an uncertain afterlife. We must locate divine validation in the immediate, daily actions that are favored by God today. To combat the void, King Solomon commands us to take specific actions. Eat your bread with joy, drink wine with a glad heart, and maintain the behavioral purity of white garments in the present. We are instructed to balance the long-term perspective, the oil of wisdom illuminating the mind, with deep, passionate, short-term investments, like committing to a relationship with a spouse. The grave eventually strips away all human capacity for empirical science, philosophy, and action. Knowing this, fatalism is a waste of time. Solomon's answer is to aggressively maximize the opportunities currently in our hands. This focus on the present is critical, because success is never guaranteed by merit alone. King Solomon recognized what we now call black swan events, highly improbable, unpredictable occurrences that carry massive consequences. This chart shows 5 distinct upward-moving lines representing human paths of merit: speed, strength, wisdom, wealth, and charisma. Notice how all of them are abruptly severed by a single erratic line. That erratic line is unpredictable time and natural randomness. A sudden fluctuation in the natural order acts as a trap, catching even the most capable humans in moments of weakness without any warning. Recognizing our deep vulnerability to these forces strips away our illusions of control. It acts as a humbling mechanism, driving us directly back to King Solomon's command to live fully and ethically in the now. To see how this plays out on a larger scale, King Solomon applies these rules of randomness to political authority. He offers a parable of a small, underpopulated town suddenly besieged by a great king who surrounds it with massive siege works. Inside the town, the inhabitants discover a wise man they had previously pitied and ignored. Using only his intellect and sage advice, rather than military might, this man rescues the town from total destruction. But once the danger passes, the masses completely forget him. The sudden return to safety proves that intellectual virtue is politically fragile and easily ignored during peacetime. King Solomon observes 2 competing types of political authority here. One relies on the calm, rational dialogue of ethicists. The other relies on the loud, charismatic shouting of a sovereign at his hedonistic subjects. The philosopher Jürgen Habermas described the rational approach as the ideal speech situation. This is a condition where parties communicate using logic, entirely free from coercion to reach mutual understanding. True, lasting cooperation requires appealing to a subject's reason, rather than using authoritarian fear to temporarily suppress their appetites. Yet, because human nature is flawed, this rational governance is deeply fragile. Just one foolish actor or a single mistake can devastate massive amounts of societal good. A resilient society must intentionally choose the difficult path of quiet reason. But the dangerous reality is that the sovereign's yells often win the crowd. When loud fools rule, preserving ancient Jewish wisdom, keeping its steady light burning in the dark, becomes our only real strategy for survival.